Hey there, it's Yvonne, back again with Finish It Up Friday as we are talking about the 5 love languages and from Gary Chapman's book. If you don't have it, get it, because he goes into so much more information about each of these, and it will really help you in understanding your spouse's love language, your teenager's love language, and your kids' love language. And so what we talked about Monday was words of affirmation, building up, not tearing down. Quality time was Tuesday. We're talking about quality, but also quantity. Give that spouse and children time with you. And when you have time together, don't let it be distracted time. From Psalm 119:37, turn away my eyes from beholding vanity, things that distract and things that are worthless. Let's get rid of all these things, the technology, the cell phones, Facebook. You know what? It's all good and it's great and I use it all. But there is a time and a place for everything. Receiving gifts was Wednesday. If you are the type who loves receiving gifts and that's your love language, then definitely you need to be able to express that to your spouse, or if that's his or hers, you need to be able to get that expression from them. And acts of service. Again, like I said, that's my number one. And so if that is yours, make a list for your spouse. Make a list for your coworkers. Make a list for people that are in your life and say, these are the things that are really important to me. And you know what? As they begin to fulfill those things and do those things, it fills up your love tank and it makes you feel that you are important. Now today what we want to talk about is physical touch. Now obviously, physical touch, depending on what relationship you're talking about, is going to be different. Okay, so if you're talking about physical touch with somebody you're engaged to, that would be physical touch depending on what your scope of definition of that is and what your boundaries are, but that should not include sex. Okay, and so sex is reserved for marriage. And so if it is before marriage, that should not be a part of physical touch, but you can be so fulfilled in other ways. Now, if you've had sex outside of marriage, do not be condemned. I did. Okay, so I'm not here saying, oh, I never did. I did. And so I want you to understand, I'm not here to judge you nor condemn you, but if you haven't yet, let that be a standard and say, this is worth waiting for. And most importantly, you are worth waiting for. And let that other person fulfill you in other ways of physical touch that do not include sex. And then once you're married, yes, it will include that. And that is amazing. However, there are other avenues to that. Sitting on the couch and holding hands, being in the car and rubbing each other's arms. Physical touch, you just need to be felt and you need to feel somebody. Tactile touch is huge. There was a survey that went out, and this woman had gone into an orphanage and she was studying the results of tactile touch. And the children in this orphanage, there were 94 children brought in between the ages of 3 months and 3 years. And they did not have enough staff to actually hold the children. So they would feed them and change them, but they would keep them in their beds. And so within 3 months, these children were spacing out. And after 6 months, 1/4 of them had died, because they were hungry to be touched. If that is something that you need to be able to express that to the person that's in your life. And children need to be touched. Even if that's not their main love language, just to go up and touch them on the cheek and say, I love you so much, you did a great job, you're so cute. I'm Italian, so go up and pinch their cheeks. It means so much to just touch somebody and to love them. And if that is their love language, again, it just fills them up. It removes all those areas that are void. And you know what? Because we serve a God and love a God who we cannot physically touch, it is so important that if that is our spouses or our children's or our teenagers' love language, that we touch them, because so many times God will use your touch to touch them. I know this has been just such an overview of each of these chapters, and I could just go on and on and on about each one of them. But I want you to get the book, read the book, and look it over. And again, today, actually, on the Fishbowl Radio Network, we are going to be discussing intimacy in all areas between men and women. If you did not watch it, tune in. fbrn.us, go to VineLife Radio and check it out. And let's find out, how do men and women differ? And then if you can figure out, okay, men and women differ this way. Well, I've got a boy child and a girl child. They differ in this way. All children are different. All people are different. And we need to not just label everybody the same, but we need to understand and respect each other's differences, just like God does ours. We just love you so much, and we're so glad that you've been with us this week. Let us know what you've thought about this series. Let us know if you've got any suggestions for other series, and let us know if you've got prayer requests. And if it's something really personal, send us a private message. We will call you and pray with you individually. We have Bible study coming up on March the 11th. And it will be at the Cleburne Christian Fellowship. That is our new venue. Praise the Lord. And we have a youth conference, the Regenerate Youth Conference, that is coming up March 31st and April 1st, again at the Cleburne Christian Fellowship. Bring out your youth. Anyone from 12 to 19 years old, bring them out. Friday night and Saturday all day. We anticipate it to be an amazing time. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be power-packed. So please stay tuned for all of the events that we have coming up. Let's stay connected to each other and to the vine.